My name is Christopher Hagmann. I work at a company called Power Auctions. I literally did these slides over lunch, so this is the first run of this, so this will be fun. This talk was inspired by a conversation I was having the other day where I was telling a story from one of my boss that used the term Jurassic Park syndrome on me, and that was based off this quote. Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could that they didn't stop to think if they should. He used that in particular with some code I tried to commit. With basically the caveat that if we would have merged this in, we would never be able to fire you. Because I had just learned about the fact that you could dynamically create code in Ruby. So fun. And of course, I took that to its logical extreme, which means I made an ERB template where I was able to pass in variables and then dynamically create a Ruby source file that I could then load in, exactly how it was intended to be used. And also there's great Jurassic Park quotes and all that stuff. So it's hardly appropriate to start hurling generalizations. I didn't want to fix everything in code, so obviously I needed to do a template. So just because you can, you shouldn't. And there are a few other examples of things that we sometimes slip into things that slipped into our code bases that we could do and we did do, but we shouldn't have. So this was one of them. Please do not take metaprogramming to that extreme, and also just be in general be mindful of your metaprogramming and also of your levels of abstraction. The other one is about dependencies. Rails 2014 was a very momentous day in my life. I had yet to pick up any programming at that time. However, somebody gave a talk on the idea of using objects for Rails views. He named his proof of concept perspectives, and one of my future employers' employee was at that talk and said, "This is the coolest thing ever." And he went in and put it into one of our production applications. And so, as you can imagine, like I said, it was RailsConf 2014. This is the versions per the guy who actually wrote the gem. As you can see, he didn't update it ever again. And I can almost guarantee you that our company is the only person who ever has it in a production application, including him. And so, in 2021, I had the pleasure of updating a fork of the gem to Rails 6, because we were a consultancy, and the client did not want to pay for us to remove it from the 300 files that this person had managed to put it into our application that we supported for them. After careful consideration, I've decided not to endorse your work. So be careful about what you endorse and add into your thing, especially if you decide to make it a pivotal part of your application, because somebody who hasn't even heard of Rails before might one day have to continue working on your mistake. It's very interesting, by the way, in case anyone's really curious. It's not bad, it's just not supported and not fully fleshed out. Clever girl, the classic Jurassic Park quote. This is a code that I took from a refactoring workshop that I was a part of. Can anyone guess what game that is supposed to be helping you score? Yes?
Rock, paper, scissors?
Rock, paper, scissors, yes. So clearly, you get whether it's rock, paper, scissors, you check the index, and by being able to compare the indexes to a modular, you can get the who wins. Perfectly transparent, no comments needed, and is a lot shorter than the original version of this code. But I would argue that this is actually really bad code, even if it would win at Code Golf. Because if for whatever reason you decided to add a new option, someone has to figure out why that worked in the first place. So sometimes being clever is not actually good code for the future. Because, again, even sometimes future you is going to hate you. Hold on to your butts. One of the other major ways that complicated codes get in is when you're doing code review and you hold your butts. You don't go, we think we should consider it. That first bit of code might have made it into my code base if one of my coworkers is going to go, that's great and all, but let's not. So sometimes the best thing you can do is to just, when you start seeing problems, to speak up early and often. And you're not doing it on purpose, but sometimes it just finds a way to get in here. So stay on time, and thank you.